Okay, let's check out the new DLC. We're just gonna go ahead and start on a map this time. Take a look at the genomes and everything. Kind of gonna try maybe approach this a little more analytically. I don't know. We got the secret species one. We started in the species viewer, and we're just like, hey, look, it's a dinosaur. So, two new small actual dinosaurs. Microceratus starts with long-lived social with defensive, unfit, and intolerant. Immediately, five different traits is bad because they're going to all conflict with each other. Like, you can't have five traits on one dinosaur, so you have these, like, little interference genes that are going to mess up your synthesis run. Cheap, 3 to 7 in batch size. Oops, I wanted to actually look at the genome. That's fine. We'll look at the skins later, but we do have two film skins. I've seen some people insist that, like, there's, like, a green skin as well in the film. There's 3 Microceratus designs. And some people have insisted the base skin is what I saw specifically said on, like, Reddit or a video or something, is the third design. Well, the base skin here is definitely not the green one. This is a red fellow. So maybe there's a skin combo in here that, like, actually does this. But not gonna hold my breath. 8 gene mods is actually a lot. So let's see what we can do here. With 8 gene mods, we can clear intol, we can clear unfit, we can do 75 social, 75 humble, and then you can still even erase defensive if you want, but not here because we can't modify negatively because I turned it off. That's fine. So yeah, like a pretty mediocre starting gene spread, just in the sense that there's too many different things stacking up, but enough gene points to actually, like, clear it out. Let's get some random ones here. We'll just delete the first batch. That would be you. I guess I could have released the default as well. There appears to be some sort of construction or something going on somewhere in my building, or at least somebody hanging up a picture, so there's a little bit of knocking in the background. I apologize, but this video has to come out now. Okay. Segi, or Segasaurus, I think is how they've been saying it in, like, voiceover I've heard in this game, which is not how I would have said it, but I can believe it, so we'll see if I adopt that saying. I don't know where I picked up on it being Segisaurus, because I got the se part instead of Seji, which a lot of people say. I don't know. It's named after Segi Canyon, which is, like, I think it's supposed to be, like, Navajo or something. It's in, like, Arizona, I think. So it might have a pronunciation that's a little different than you would expect. Weak, short-lived, social quenched. This is less bad. 7 genes, it looks like. 4 to 8 eggs, also cheap. Didn't look at the needs. This is a sand dino, open space, min pop 4, likes everything. Yeah, typical scavenger, carnivore shit. 79 lifespan. Low. Yeah, this seems essentially what you expect. 21 appeal. Let's pop back to the micro. This is a good place to look at stats. I was going to do it when they're out, but yeah. Fiber leaf, open space. No forest on the Microceratus, which, I mean, conceptually is good if you're going to ever see the guy. Like Ceratopsid and Lystrosaurus. This is interesting. I guess Lystrosaurus reminds him of himself, and so they get along good. Ceratopsid does just his big brothers. Weird that doesn't like anything else, though. There's a very unique, like spread. Actively dislikes all carnivores and Therizinosaurs. Understandable. Everybody hates that Theri bastard. Yeah, then, yeah, we basically saw everything here. Appeal 43. What's a min-mi? Okay, so, like, how about a homolocephaly? Are you worth less than a... Yeah, homolocephaly is only 14. 10,000, 14. 28,000, 43. 85,053. Microceratus might be pretty good. 43 for 28. Seems decent. 14 for 15. 54 for 36. Well, 54 for 36 on Ovi. Maybe those are scaled about the same. A little bit higher area knee growth than the Seg. But still, yeah. Lifespan's a little short. 58. What's like a Struthi? Struthi's like my base threshold for shit that dies kind of often. 61, yeah. So your Microceratus are going to tip over a bit fast. Not that much faster than Struthi's, but Struthi's, they do have a tendency to die. At least he's cheap, so it's not so bad. It's not like the Concav when he came out. Which I don't know if we ever talked about it. They did fix his lifespan. This is really not the place to talk about it, but lifespan 78 instead of like 38. Maybe it was a typo. Anyway, yes, Microceratus. About what you expect. No like really weird shit there in those stat spreads. Unlike some of the previous DLCs. Except for maybe like Microceratus has a pretty nice like cost to appeal ratio, perhaps. 50% social. I missed that it was 50% default. That's pretty good. Clear the weak, clear the short-lived. 75-75, but we still got a gene pip left over. Yeah, both of those are pretty solid. Like, you can try for the, like, triple environmental gene alpha here by throwing in Quenched. You can't usually do that. There's not many dinosaurs you can actually have a decent chance of pulling that off. 240. I didn't see what the full cost of the micros was. The colors on these guys are so good. That's right, there's a Dominion skin. That's about what I think the third Dominion design's supposed to look like, roughly. Kind of a yellowish green. There's like one good pick of the animatronic.
Many of them compare to the Microceratus. Admittedly, yeah, there's a bit of a clue in the name, but I really didn't realize how small they are. With that said, they may well be cute, but that doesn't mean they're mute. Because they're certainly, how should I put this? Communicative little critters.
Yeah, the skins on these are really good. Like, look at the colors. The pattern is nice. It's not just splotches. It's like organized into some stripes. That looks great. You've got like these nice highlight scales on the frill. I mean, look at the frill on this guy. We need more ceratopsians in JWE3 that look like this. Look at these. Look at the individually colored different scales. Like the stripe of yellow scales here, and then like these reds and oranges here, with the blue like behind it. That's so good. Top tier pattern work on this guy. Fantastic. Let's see, other things. Should have removed the blanks. I had another thing to say. Oh yeah, Microceratus versus Microceratus. I've always said Ceratus. I say Ceratosaurus, which is why I say Microceratus. But they say Microceratus. So am I supposed to say Ceratosaurus? That doesn't feel right. Doesn't have the right mouthfeel. But it might be accurate. Again, I don't know how to say any of these fucking names. I try, but like, god damn it, man. Part of the problem too is dinosaur names mix up like multiple languages. You've got like a lot of Greek and Roman or whatever, Greek and Latin shit going into names. But then you also get things like Segi Canyon thrown in there, or proper names thrown in there, or just like other local stuff, local formations, local towns, etc. So like it's a mess. So yeah, I guess this is kind of the closest you get to the website skin, really. Maybe there's like a pattern you can make too that looks like the 2015 website skin, but a lot of people are sad to see that go. Like every time we lose one of the 2015 website skins, people are sad. So yeah, Amazon Litho. We got a Limpopo Pulcrana. Pulcrana, I think, I'm pretty sure all the head coloring here is the pattern and not the base skin. Pulcrana looks nice. That's a really nice blue with like those lighter highlights. Yeah, this one's Pilo. Pilo's fantastic. Pulkrana doesn't have the highlights, right? It's still got the scales, but they're the same color. So I have watched like a video of like somebody else's species preview from yesterday. Somebody who gets, I think it was Evo Squares. Somebody who gets early access. I don't even remember who it was. I legitimately don't remember if it was Evo's video. I think it was. And it looks like they're doing something different with the patterns in this DLC. Maybe they've done it before and I just don't remember. But it seems like they're multicolored so that they can do like one color here, but they can also then go and make them the same color. And this is not like necessarily something they couldn't have done in the past as far as I can tell, because there are like multicolored patterns. Creatures that have like one color on the head and different color on the body. But in this case, the way they're changing the colors on these patterns actually makes them look a lot more different, which is cool. I'd like to see more of that. Another 2022 Mangrove Pelophylax. Like, look at this guy. Look at that shit. This is a really nice, like, blue and purple color to go together. Like, something about, like, this, like, almost aquamarine bluish, slightly green, teal, whatever, with this, like, particular shade of purple looks great. And again, the two-tone, like, highlight scales on the frill. Awesome. And, unfortunately, one blank. But, like, as far as blanks go, not bad. Just the texture work looks really nice on this. Like, you could see the scaling and stuff. So even on a blank, it looks pretty decent. I guess one other thing we can talk about with Microceratus here, they fucked this poor guy's face up. They put his eye in the wrong spot. His eye should be here. So if you've looked at a dinosaur skull, right, they got these fenestra, these like windows in the skull. I think that's literally what fenestra means, if I remember correctly, is something like a window. And so they got one that's the eye socket, and then there's one in between the eye socket in the mouth to like basically lighten up a dinosaur skull. And for whatever reason on this guy, they put his eye in the in-between fenestra, not the actual eye socket. So it gives him kind of like a weird pug look. I don't like hate it aesthetically. I think it looks fine. It's just, the longer I look at it, the less good it looks. It really does look like his face is weirdly pushed up on his skull. And I the question I have for myself that I am unable to answer: does this bother me because I know it's wrong, or does it bother me aesthetically independent of whether it's correct? And I can't figure that out. I think, yeah, I don't know. It's still a great creature. It still looks good. It's the film design in the game, which is what it should be, even if it's wrong. This is a critique of Dominion more than of this game. Dominion fucked up the design of the Microceratus face for some reason. Alright, Segi. Sega.
Decades of scientific innovation have made this very moment possible. Paleocuration is rarely straightforward, but is always immensely rewarding, so it gives me great pleasure to welcome the Stegosaurus.
Yeah, interesting little fella. This guy is from the original park brochure in 1993. You can't, so the brochure itself, the prop, can be seen in the film, but you do not see the details of the brochure in the film. Right. So there was always an argument to make that this guy was non-canon. I never made that argument. I've wanted this guy in the game since they started putting in brochure species in the first game. Well, finally he's here. He's got like a 1993 style retro design a bit, which is neat. My original pitch that I had made a few times on the subreddit for how we could add Stegosaurus to the game and not offend the people who will lose their fucking mind if there's more than one Coelophysid in the game for some reason, was to make it feathered, or like quilled at least, proto-feathered, which would clash with the JP design aesthetic, but would at least motivate, you know, putting it in the game. But Frontier went all the way on it. They went ahead and just made it a little more retro-styled Coelophysid without making any concessions to make the anti-Coelophysid lobby happy. So I'm happy with that. I'm glad to have this. This guy is really small. He's a little bit bigger than a compy. The Microstratus also is very small, compy size. These are two of the smallest dinosaurs in the game. That's a Segi. Why can I not? It's so small, I can't click on it. There we go. Yeah, this guy is literally compy sized. Segi is like a smidge bigger. So this is I should say this is like compy sized in height more or less. This is a bulkier by far than compy. So these are like probably I would say the second and third smallest species in the entire game. So that's interesting. What else about Segi? So yeah, we've never had like a franchise depiction of this dinosaur, despite it being from the original film. One of the original like 15 species. Although I don't think all 15 species are motivated in the original film, even with prop material. So one of the original 13 or so species that are actually, referenced in the film. It just never shows up in nothing. We had a design for it on the JP Institute page, and that's all we've had for 30 years. Just nothing else. And he's finally here, and he's great. I like him. I think from what I've seen so far, the patterns haven't blown my mind. Oh, did I release none of these randomized? Yeah, these are all Solaranas. Shit. We'll have to do a new wave. That's fine. But it's fine. Like, this is a pattern that's also reasonably Jurassic. It looks a little bit better here than I had seen. Some of the previews I'd seen made it look really splotchy. So then it kind of feels... So there's a problem in this game with skins, which is that there's a bunch of species that have skins where it feels like they just splashed paint on the dinosaur and said fuck it. And it's very disappointing. Like half the designs, maybe even less than half the designs are good, but the bad skins are fucking awful. And I really hope they put a little more effort going into the third game on some of the skins. Because they've shown time and time again that they can do that. So it'd be great. Although, I mean, it's probably pretty likely we'll see a variation of the skin system in the third game. I mean, not necessarily. But likely in the sense of like 60%, I would say. Right. Alright, here's some multicolored ones. That one in the back looks pretty neat. Yeah, so this gives us a good look at least at the patterning. The face pattern does look pretty good. You get this like two-tone snip of the tip of the snout. You get like the fenestra here between the eye socket and the nose colored in, which is interesting. That gives it a very like retro dinosaur shrink wrap vibe, which is fitting for a JP era species. But yeah, the body, this is better than just random, but we've got so many dinosaurs that just have like weirdly shaped splotches that like it's immediately triggering. You get worried it's gonna look like shit. This doesn't look that bad. This is fine. This is a great Sandy Paparana. We got a nice Quillian Calcarana. I like this this purple. This like subtle purple is nice. Oh, I think again here we could see the coloring thing they do, right? Sort of. Like this one's got this stripe here, but like the other part of the coloring's like translucent, right? Yeah, because this guy's got green all through here, and then this like shark fin, haha, orange. And this guy's only got like the shark fin, and all the other coloring blends in. So he gets these spots here on his back that are like discrete versus this guy who's got this entire other coloring, even with these little wavy bits here, all over the body. So that's neat. That seems like a recurring theme with this pack skins, is this kind of two-tone thing. Well, this one's kind of interesting too. See, this one looks like the opposite now. Like, this one looks like the shark fin on the snout is not colored in at all. And he's only got the second color filled in. So he's got, like, this darker, like, gray. And then like the base color is shining through in the spots where normally these would be colored something more exotic. That's fun. So there's like effectively 3 different patterns by doing it that way. This is the one that looked pretty neat. A yellow and purple or yellow and black. I like that. That's good. That's a good one. Yukon Pilo. Yeah, it looks like we're doing... Is that a... This one's got the stripe of color on the head. Is that part of the Yukon skin? Because, like... Yeah, because this one doesn't have the green. The green stops at the neck. And the top of the head is the same as the base color. They've done a really good... Like, it's not my favorite pattern, but they've done a really good job of implementing it. Because there's a lot of variation. Huh. This has to be... This has to be all base color, right? This guy's just got more of a two-tone look to the skull than the other base colors. And then we're seeing the pattern where the splotches are invisible. So the sawtooth, the shark fin here is see-through, and these spots are showing through the base color. That's got to be what's going on here. It looks good though. This is the best one so far. Death Valley Rana. Yeah, I mean that works as a good like subtle like JP style design. Because the patterning, like, there's some really cool patternings in the original film, but they're all, like, really hard to make out with just, like, the filming style and, like, while they're really cool patterns, they're very subtle, they're not very flashy. Makes it feel very naturalistic. This feels like it could be a contender to fit in there. Oh, we got two of the Pilos. Yukon Pilo, identical twins. Death Valley Rana, was that? Yeah, two Death Valley Ranas too. Well, so much for randomization. Champlain Pulkrana. That one's fun too. You get the little teal on the snout. This is a nice, like, subdued green. Green and black's always a pretty good color combo for, like, an animal, I think. Yeah, decent. Okay, well, I think that's a good look at them. I don't think I have too much else to say. We looked at this stuff. This was typical scavenger shit. Likes everything. Yeah. Spin through those real quick, I guess. Just in case there was something I didn't say, at least it'll be in the video. Yep, pretty typical. Okay, now, the dark horse of the DLC, the Thanatos Dracon. This guy, this is the one that threw everybody off. This is this Darkid pterosaur discovered in 2022. So it might be the newest animal in this game, maybe. Oh, let's look at his stat screen here real quick. Those are numbers. 71 attack, beats the shit out of a Tropognathus, gets bodied by cats. So maybe this is like in between the large pterosaurs and cats, like what were previously the large pterosaurs. We should throw out a few different things to compare to. I don't think I have a good grasp of how big this guy actually is in game. Beyond the fact that he looks like he fits in better than likes Pteranodon. But looks like he fits in better than Ketz does into the aviary, because Ketz is so huge. Like, Ketz is big and oversized, so that's what does that for Ketz. Fish Eater, 50% needy, weak, short-lived, defensive. Seems like another pretty mediocre gene spread. 7 mods. 400k incubation. So on the level of like Pteranodon, Trope, and presumably Geo. No, Geo's cheaper. Okay, one of the more expensive pterosaurs. Let's set some randoms up. Let's get some patterns. I mean, I guess the blank is not irrelevant to like know how the skins are being set up. If we're trying to set up Needy Humble for an aviary species, Yeah, so this guy can't get like 75-75. We can like do 50-50 remove weak or something. You'd probably in an actual challenge mode remove short-lived. Yeah, rough gene spread, not like Iguanodon level of bad, but not the best. Probably the worst out of the three so far. Let's slap in a cat as well for comparison. What is the default skin for cats? It does default to 2022. Okay. Random, irrelevant curiosity. We got a defensive social humble alpha there. I also want to throw out like Pteranodon for comparison, probably. Nice colors. Yeah. You can basically tell these are smaller because they release in a wave of 3 instead of single.
Brush up on my Greek lately, and you know what? I think it's going pretty well. As soon as I heard we had a Thanatos Dragon, I was like, great, a dragon of death. And it slowly dawned on me what I just said. So, you're good to look after this one, right? I mean, I can't afford for this to end in tragedy.
It's a solid blank. Like, there's still, like, patterning inherent in the blank. You still have the little crest and the eye that stand out differently. Amazon Papurana, on the other hand, we get this nice, like, purple on the crest, some patterning on the beak. The wings are typical pterosaur wing pattern shit of, like, dipped in paint. For some reason, like, they're especially bad, I think, at patterning pterosaur wings in this game because they don't do much of anything with any of them. This is fine. Like, this one doesn't look actively bad or anything, but, like, yeah. And a Solar Pulcrana one over here. Yeah, the head is very, like, Hatzegopteryx style. With that, like, big triangular head. Whereas Ketz has that more pronounced, like, more like, needle-like with a bigger crest. Speaking of... Looks like your pycnofibers are, glitching out there, friend. Yeah, you could see there's a solid size difference there. How are these guys? Yeah, they're furry. I was just gonna say, wait, because the fur on the cats stood out. The feathers made me go back and look at this guy. True thing. I said pycnofibers earlier. They are feathers. We know that now. Feathers are a trait that precedes the split to Dinosauria. Let's do some Pteranodons, I guess. Sure, whatever. We'll do some ugly ones, that's fine. I want to catch one, like, really close to the cats. I could have done it there, probably. Oh, there we go. Perfect. So, yeah, there's your size difference. Quite noticeable. Are you going to... Oh, you're killing him. No, that's the Thanatos. Okay. Thanatos is our dominance fighting. The Ketz is not killing this guy. At least not yet. So, yeah, a lot smaller. A lot smaller. I think... I've heard somebody say this is, like... So, Quetzalcoatlus has two, like, subspecies. There's, like, Northropi and, like, Lawsoni or something. And one is really big, one is relatively small, like half the size of the other. So I understand that this is closer to like the smaller Kets species IRL. And obviously the JWE Kets is like way oversized. Although if this was like half, I mean, the other one would be, yeah, you'd still be like 60% the size of like the Kets if you doubled this, like, yeah, because you'd stretch out here, you'd stretch out here, and then you'd still have a good solid like wingtips of the Kets, something like that. The Thanatos also might be like, I don't know if that statement is in respect to IRL Thanatos or Thanatos in game. So. And we did have a fight. So where are the fighting ones? Where are the fighting ones? Because nobody's quite on top of each other here. Did I miss the fight? Like, does the notification actually pop up after they've already attacked each other? Because pterosaur attacks are like really short. I don't know if that's a different animation for feeding. They do have a social feeder animation that's pretty good, but I'm not going to hang around forever to try and see it. Unfortunately, I got some other stuff I need to do today. I'm on like a clock here. If I'm going to get this done, it has to be done relatively quickly. Oh yeah, we never looked at social animations for Micro and Segi. Sega. Okay, some Pteranodons. So bigger than Pteranodon, but not like hugely so. Like the wingspan looks probably pretty similar, just the, you know, being an Azhdarchid, it's a little more bulky. Also, again, these guys like each other does not mean they won't fight. Pteranodons. Just trying to get another one close. Are you going after him? You know, man, it's so hard to tell. Without them being like right next to each other, the perspective gets weird. I think their wingspan is wider than Pteranodons. I think they're a little bit bigger, which is good. They should be. Even a smaller Azhdarchid should be bigger than most, you know, pterosaurs, I would assume. You want to land at a feeder? No? Okay. Alright. Let's pop back here real quick. Anybody want a social animation? Oh, they are feeding. Yeah, the problem too with social animations is getting one that happens on the sand. The feeder animation's kind of neat. They just dive in. They don't like a lot of the other ones pull a piece off. These guys just shove their whole face in and just go for it, which is pretty neat. Let's see here. Content, hungry. Just seeing if anybody is flagged as socializing. Oh yeah, I never gave the micros any food. We don't want them to die. There you go, buds. Eat up! I assume you won't see shit for an eating animation. Yeah, nobody's doing socials. Oh!
Hey, I've gone like hours without a snack, and I know how.
So they do a little tail nip and like a little jump.
Dinosaur feels when it's hungry.
None of the social animations here, from what I've seen in this pack, are like amazing. The Thanatos Dracon feeder animation's pretty good, but like, you gotta have two dinosaurs at the feeder at the same time. It's not easy to trigger. They bite their beaks, like they bite at each other trying to catch a fish that they throw in the air, and then that ends up with them like locking beaks with each other, which is fun. Okay, let's get the Megalodon. Mr. Megalodon. Hold on, let's look at the stats. 140. So this is 140-90 attack defense. Yeah, so the defense is like way higher than Mosa. So the Megalodon is like the strongest aquatic, I guess. Yeah. Dislikes other fish. Min pop 1 shark requirement, which is different than I think most of the other shark dudes. I think Mosa requires shark, and that's it, right? What is the other one? Chrono, I think, is the other shark feeder, right? Chrono, Dunk, Meg, Mosa. Because Tylo is the weird one out that doesn't shark feed. 105 lifespan. Solid. I think sharks live a long time, right? Short-lived, antisocial, strong defensive fit. Again, a bunch of like one of genes. 7 mods, 1 egg, 2 mil 7. More expensive than a Mosa by a hefty bit. This is less appeal. 22, 25. 1625. 1.5 ink. Is this bad? Megalodon might be bad. What's the motivation for having a 2200 appeal Megalodon over a 2500 Mosasaurus for cheaper? Well, that's weird. That's like not a little bit difference. This is like 40% more expensive for less appeal. That's actually seems really bad. Huh. Dice roll. Dice roll. Let's see here. You would definitely remove lifespan. If you're just putting out one, then you can just do humble. But if you wanted multiple sharks, 7550. We'll make a couple real quick. Size-wise, this is about the size of a Mosa. I know that. We don't really need to do the comparison. Champlain Pulcrana. Yukon Rana. And then we need our shark feeder. Sharky, shark. Feeders. Oh, I didn't even know there were different eras. Wait, what's the difference between these? They have different pylons. Okay. Dun dun. Dun dun. His cold, dead shark eyes. I know these guys... Oh, shit. Well, too late. It's already over by the time it begins. Like, that's just killed the Thanatos. I know these guys got the same deal with, like, the double patterns, where they have stripes and spots, and depending on which pattern you're looking at, the stripes or spots will stand out more.
Given my background in the business world, I'm pretty used to dealing with sharks. But let me tell you now, that's a whole world away from the one that Megalodon's from. Because you dare get in the water with this shark? Oh boy, you are not coming out.
I don't really care about Megalodon that much personally. I don't give a shit about big old prehistoric shark. But they've done a good job at making it not just look exactly like a great white or something. Some different like fin shapes. Snout looks a little different. So, yeah. The animation set looks pretty good. Like, some of the aquatics look really stiff. This looks decently fluid. Not bad. That one's got maybe more of a, like a great white vibe with the coloring a little bit. We need to do some lighting changes. Day. Yeah, so this one just looks like it's spotted. I am unable to go under the water right now. Yeah, so this one is effectively only spotted with this pattern. This is Rana. The other one, you could see the striping on the body here with the spots. So yeah, another like double pattern. That's pretty cool. Let's see if we can get him to eat from a shark feeder here. Open space demand. Actually, looks like this lagoon can fit too. Probably. Oh, is that the social? Hold on. Just a little face bite. The other one flinches away. Beating. How far are we from the feeder? Little ways. Oh shit, that one just went. Okay, so they... Oh, yep, here we go. Rah! That's a pretty good twist on, like, the feeder animation. Kind of coming up sideways, like yanking it down, as opposed to the other ones, which I think are... I think pretty much every other shark feeder animation is, like, up and bite. So yeah, Megalodon was, in fact, the Thanatos Dracon that died. In a very dramatic pose. Anybody over here want to socialize? Oh, wait, one's sleeping. Look at the sleeping animation. Just a little curled up fella. Yeah, nothing especially super cute about that. What about you? Oh, I know another Stegosaurus fact. So these guys are slightly bigger than copies, which is in keeping with the fossil we have for these. We have a single specimen, but the single specimen is not an adult. So they could have made these bigger, and they chose not to. And maybe the logic there is that as a small coelophysid, these guys are kind of the film universe stand-in for the novel's Procompsognathes, which is also not a compsognathid, but a coelophysid. Or coelophysoid, whatever the fuck. So they might be, that might be part of the motivation here, is having a compy-sized coelophysid to, you know, have the novel version of the compy in a sense. And again, the retro design kind of fits for that. Yeah, nobody's doing shit in this enclosure. Okay, well, let's pop back to the species viewer. We've had a good look at, you know, their stats and stuff in-game. Oh, I want to look at the research. Hold on. We got to step one more sandbox. Because I want to see where they lie in the research tree, because I have no idea. Nobody covers this shit. Let's do standard, etc. This should be good to go, right? Well, I'll pause while I get this set up. Okay, so Microceratus is paired with Torosaurus, oddly enough, and Ceratopsids too. So very early species, you just need 3 things before you can get Microceratus. The Segi is... Ooh! Holy shit, we get a new starting dinosaur species from a DLC. They've never done that before. You actually get to begin with Stegosaurus. Well, that's really cool. I'm glad to see that because I felt like we've always needed more starters. Very cool. Megalodon is actually, wow. So not only is Megalodon financially inferior to Mosasaurus, it's the same research tile. Why would you ever do Megalodon? I guess you do both, right? If you wanted one in the park, you just do both in a challenge mode. But I don't think you ever do this in a challenge mode anyway, I guess. So in that sense, it doesn't matter if Megalodon's stats are good or bad because you'll never use it in a challenge mode. Thanatos Dracons paired with Tropognathus. So third tier pterosaur. That's probably fine. I mean, nothing's going to compare with Ketz for the pterosaurs, although Ketz does have some comfort issues. Gets pissed and breaks out, so... let's throw down an expedition center here. I'm just curious. Now that it's a starter, I'm actually really curious about, like, financial viability. Because, like, so the go-to starter's always been Struthiomimus. It probably still is, but, like, having a cheap small carnivore, not bad. Navajo Sandstorm Formation. Why'd they not call it Sega Canyon? Sega Canyon. That feels like a missed opportunity. 40k to dig. Actually cheaper than Struthiomimus, because you don't have the 120 dig site. Huh. I mean, I guess, you know, like, Nasuto is not that much more expensive either. The big difference is, like, the synthesis cost for Nasuto is higher versus Struthi being essentially, like, free. But Segi was, like, also pretty free, right? Let's go back. No, wait, that's Canada. Oh, I guess the other ones have been erased. RIP. Well, whatever. We have the numbers, and we've seen the numbers for, like, the synthesis cost for Segi, so we can compare it to Struthi. It'll be about the same, right? So if you want to do a carnivore-only park build, now you have a good, early, cheap contender that you can use for contracts. So that's pretty neat. Alright, let's look at the skins in the species viewer. I'm going alphabetically. The first thing we find is Megalodon? Yeah. Got... Oh, another thing I only kind of realized, these skins are organized, right? Sonoran Desert, Death Valley, Great Sandy Desert. 3 arid skins. Champlain Valley, Salar del Huasco, Limpopo River. 3, like, woodland skins. Quillian, Yukon, Svalbard, mountain skins. Or, like, tundra skins. And then Amazon Rainforest, Mangrove, Gambia. 3 tropical skins. This is... I never caught on to this. I never realized that. It's basically an expansion of, like, the skins as they were in the previous game, where they were, like, woodland, etc., coastal. So, yeah. Some nice base colors here. We got reds, we got blacks and grays and whites, blues. It's pretty cool stuff. Then, yeah, patterns. So, we got, like, dark stripes. You got, like, light stripes, so the spots stand out. Literally the same color between the two for the spots. You got very light spots and stripes. Interesting blue there. Yeah, pretty good. Honestly, how sick would this pattern look on a pterosaur wing? Yeah, these are pretty good. These are pretty well patterned. Microceratus. We got the 1986 skin, 2022B in game. This is the one from the VHS tape. Maybe you see this in Malta Market. I don't know. A nice, like, you know, blue pattern with all these, like, lighter blue areas. And then you got the other one, 2022, with the red and yellow with the side stripes, the horizontal stripes. I definitely like the blue one here better. I think this is a nicer skin color. And then yeah, for base colors, you got your spread reds, blues, greens. This really nice purple. And for the patterns, yeah, Rana, this is nice too, like this pink and purple like vibe. Calcarana, lethal baits, and you can see the different ways they highlight the frill. Like this is really good pattern work. Really good. Yeah. Very high tier. What animations can you play here? Oh, little belly scratch, look around, lookout guy. Is that a raptor animation? The way the arms are splayed out in front, that's like the raptor run. Two animations. Swim slow, swim fast. Aquatics need an extensive rework in JWE3. Sega, I'm never gonna remember this. Does a scratch. Oh, they got a nice little oh. Nice little preening animation there. It's pretty good. Alright. Oh, if you wouldn't mind, friend, do stand. Okay. Yeah, some pretty subdued coloring, except until you get here, of course. Nice purple, nice blue. It's kind of two-tone green. Good colors to make like a JP style one of some sort or another. And you can see the way the patterns show up on the head. Like that one doesn't have anything in the fenestra, and then this one, these other ones have like different fillings. Really cool pattern work on this DLC. I've said it like 3 times. I'm saying it again. It's all little dude. And lastly, Thanatos Drakon. The Death Dragon, or whatever the fuck. Starts with TH. Little preening animation. Flap, flap, soar, soar. Flapping upward. Also could use more shit in the aviaries. Decent colors. This black and white one looks pretty nice to start with. Pattern. Do they... See, this one might have a more traditional pattern. I'm not sure any of these, apparently I didn't favorite Pelophylax, are really like turning on and off the way the other ones do. Yeah, I think this is the worst skins of the 4, probably. Especially given how there's like some really nice variation in the style skins between the different patterns. Alright, well, I need to go. I got a meeting in 9 minutes I gotta attend. So we're gonna end this video here. We'll do a different video like tomorrow or something for the species ranking. Just a short one, I think. We'll revisit the skins a little bit in that video, etc. But yeah, Pretty cool.